Living with stress and learning how to manage it. This material is property of the U.S. Department of Education and it's available to the public. It has been developed by Louis Gaviria and Associates and Gav Enterprise Group for Lauderdale, Miami for presentation by the Bilingual Parent Outreach Program, BPOP. Well, let's get down to stress. Stress happens when we think we cannot face life as it comes. It also happens when we are not prepared to face some challenges. As said by Richard Lazarus, stress is a condition or feeling experienced when a person perceives that demands exceed the personal and social resources which the individual is able to mobilize. Makes sense, huh? But there is more. Stress is what we experience when our problems and worries seem to be larger than our means to solve them. Yes, all changes, good or bad, cause some stress. Changes always impose some sort of challenge and create that tension. The visit of a relative, moving to a new home, even if it is a better one, coming to live to a new country is very challenging and causes a lot of stress, regardless of the positive motivation of the family. Now, we adapt to some changes more easily than to others. We are different as human beings, and some people take some time, while others never seem to adapt. We have seen that in our families and friends. Now, the stress reaction is normal and helps us to have more stamina and power when dealing with some issues in life, like defending our kids from any threat. The stress of being financially challenged helps us to go out and look for a new job or make decisions regarding cutting on expenses. Thanks to basic stress, we get up in the morning and get our kids ready for school. Then we go out and work for the rest of the day. No stress, we would just stay flat in our bed all day. The same holds true for the opposite. With excessive stress, we would love to stay in bed and do nothing. We need stress to function and survive. And there is this kind of distress or excessive stress. Those high levels of stress that affect the mind and the body, degrading the quality of life, performance, and eventually health itself. But there is also eustress or good stress, positive stress. This is the kind we need to function properly and reach our goals. There are quite a few causes for excessive stress. This is just a basic list. Of course, there are many more. Changes. We just say that. Changes cause stress. Excess in work load. People who work more than 40 hours per week, and that makes a lot of our population, are more prone to cardiovascular problems. And what about financial challenges? Most of us have been through that. What about affective breakup, divorce? That's one of the killers, by the way. Difficulties in love life, loneliness. This is a very lonely culture that we live in. Excessive noise. People who work too close to places where there is a lot of noise, they have more stress than the average. But there are also allergies. Allergies create stress. Illness, being sick, is so stressful. What about social pressure? Get a new car. What car are you driving right now? Can't you afford a better one? Where are you living at? Don't you have kids yet? Social pressure can cause a lot of tension. And what about war? That's a biggie right there that causes so much pain in families. Just the expectation of sending our kids to war is something so stressful. Let's take a quick look at stress physiology. When we had difficulties at home, we often get sick later, since stress usually charges its toll sometime afterwards. When we are anxious, very often we get cold hands or cold feet, even on a warm day. That is the result of angiotensin, which causes our blood vessels to shrink, and that also explains why in some circumstances we get that pale look. It's because under stress our bodies produce adrenaline, not adrenaline, cortisol, renin, and angiotensin 2 and angiotensin 3. You don't have to think about these chemicals. Just all you have to do is think that this is normal and our body produces that in order to create some outcomes to defend us. The effects of those chemicals in our bodies are muscle tension, heart rate that goes up, blood pressure goes up too, and there is a sense of reduced fatigue. Our defenses are lowered. We have to remember that stress is closely related to our immune system. Under stress, our immune response, the capacity of the body to fight infection, is lowered. Now, there is also reduction in blood circulation. Limb temperature goes down, like when we say we got cold feet or cold hands. That's as much as we have to know to keep going on this study about stress. Well, let's take a look at some facts. We usually go back to normal in a few minutes. But sometimes, after going through long stressful times, the body gets used to the new high blood pressure or to that fast beating heart and somehow gets stuck there. We then become sick. Yes, it happens. Somehow our body gets fooled, and in the case of high blood pressure, it becomes something normal to keep it high. So, this is how it works. Stress usually sends the bill after the situation has been accepted or fixed. And this is not good. Let's take a look at some symptoms of stress. But let me explain first that having some or all of these symptoms does not automatically mean that you are stressed. It could be the manifestation of another condition or sickness. You always should check with your doctor before coming to believe that it's always a matter of stress. Now, let's take a look at it. First, our muscles. Undergoing so much tension, we get pain in our neck or our shoulders. We get headaches and we get fatigue. From the emotional point of view, there is, for some people, crying, sadness with no apparent reason, depression. Some people experience panic attacks, insomnia. Remember, that is difficulties, sleep difficulties, all right? Bad temper, and some people even get more aggressive when they are under stress. Now, on the cardiovascular side, many people get many different conditions, but one of them is hypertension and also migraines. Gastrointestinal. Some people experience colic, diarrhea, colitis, gastritis, and all those difficulties that have to do with our digestion. Skin. Some people experience sores or dermatitis. And again, our immune system. There is a lowered resistance to infections. Remember always to go and check with your doctor before making up your mind that this is just stress. Very often, a lot of our stress is created by ourselves. It is imperative that we recognize that many times we are hoping for the worst. Therefore, we are preparing for chaos and failure. Yes, we have to understand this. There are some sources in the outside, the environment. Let's just name a few here. Workload, a bossy, demanding boss, financial challenges, loneliness, aggressiveness. And then, what about our own thought process? What about our own dwelling on those negative thinking patterns? Expecting for the worst, hoping that if we expect for the worst, if something positive happens, we might be surprised. That is a trap. Worrying. That means being preoccupied. What about getting occupied instead of preoccupied? that pessimism, always waiting for something bad to happen, frustration. I will tell you something. We all create a big part of our own stress. And we have to recognize this. Otherwise, we will just never change our minds and get a better result. Let me give you an example. Let's think that, for instance, I think being an immigrant or someone who is being challenged by learning a new language, and people think, I won't be able to learn English. In that case, what about telling yourself the opposite? I know I can learn English and any other language. And just imagine you can. Some other people could. Thousands of people, old people, just go to class, get yourself involved, and do your best, and you'll get there, I promise. Now, it's time for some stress management techniques. Let's start by changing our mind about some issues. Yes, we have to start changing the way we think. We have to tell ourselves over and over that we deserve inner peace and happiness. Let's start right now. Let's think, I will change my mind about, you choose, such and such. I will change my mind about the way I look. I will change my mind about my future. I will change my mind about marriage. I will change my mind about what I'm doing right now. I deserve inner peace and happiness. Let's repeat that one. So important. I deserve inner peace and happiness. A good one here. Is this decision I am about to make good at all? Again, is this decision I am about to make good at all? Am I probably making this decision under pressure or being obfuscated and tired, and maybe my mind is not that clear? If it is a good decision, why not? Go for it. Now, I want to let go of the past and decide now I want to forgive. I will treat myself with more patience and respect. I will invite my friend, whoever, to join me for a short walk every day. Yes, we gotta make some decisions. We have to start talking to a good, wise, prudent friend. We have to let go of the past and decide to forgive. And please do not beat yourself up. Guilt solves nothing. Now, you and I have to exercise. At least take a brisk daily walk for 30 minutes each time. Now I got a story for you and a question. 3 frogs are sitting on a log. One decides to jump off. How many are left? What do you think? Well, this is a good one. The answer is 3. There are still 3 frogs on that log. There is a big difference between deciding to do something and actually doing it. We're going to make decisions. Life is about choices. We change our lives with every decision we make and take into reality. So let's do something about this. Let's go and pay or renegotiate our debt if we have any. If we are anxious, let's reduce our coffee intake. Let's supplement our nutrition. Let's eat properly. Believe it or not, drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water every day can do a lot of good to your body. Let's learn to meditate, to relax, or to pray. Let's start seeking good company, that kind of people we can help or can help us in relaxing and having a good time. Good company. Let's take time for tea. And this is nice. Let's help other people. It's such a sense of satisfaction when we help other people. We get uplifted ourselves. Helping others is one of the nicest experiences you can have in your life. A few words about foods, supplements, and tea. Let's face it, some foods are irritants. Let's start reducing red meat consumption. When possible, let's change for poultry and fish. Let's eat more fruit and veggies. They're good for you. Let's reduce starch and sugar. We gotta drink more water. We should reduce coffee and caffeinated sodas. Why don't we have a couple of cups of green tea each day? And a word of caution here. In any case, let's always consult our particular cases with our doctors first. Relaxation, meditation, and prayer. Meditation is a process of putting our mind in a state of calmness. Let's give it a try. Now, please close your eyes for a moment. Let us relax our shoulders. Take a deep breath. Good. Let's imagine that our tiredness and tension goes away every time we breathe out. One more deep breath. Now, let's pay attention to all the sounds and noises around us. Let's just accept them. They are part of our life now. One more deep breath. Let us repeat the word peace in our minds. Peace. One more breath. Peace. One more. Peace. And slowly, let's open our eyes. Did you experience anything peaceful? Just for a couple seconds? I bet you did. Now let's give a relaxation a trial here. Okay? All right. Let's clench our fists for some 10 to 15 seconds. Real hard. Yes, good. Now, breathe in. Breathe out and let go of tension. All right, open your hands. All right, move your fingers around. Okay. Just let your hands rest on your lap. Let's put some tension in our shoulders. Okay? Shoulders, tense, tense, tense. A little bit. Breathe in. Hold it. And now, let it go. Breathe out and let go of tension. Good. Let's just imagine that our bodies are heavy and relaxed. Just imagine that your hands are warm and heavy. Just repeat in your mind after me. My hands are warm and heavy. Very heavy. Let's just enjoy this sense of calmness. Good. All right. It's not really hard. Okay, now let's move our hands around. Just imagine what we can accomplish if we do this with the rest of our body. And we can. It's very easy. All right? Now, prayer is the act of talking to the source, whatever you call it. Okay? I don't know if you're a believer or not. If you're a believer, well, you have your church, maybe your mosque, or a synagogue, or something as such. Go there. They will teach you how to pray. And it's good for you. There are some studies that show that prayer has a strong positive effect in the body and in the mind. Okay, let's move on. We definitely have to do something to avoid pushing ourselves to the point of not functioning properly in our personal life and in our work. We have to avoid losing quality of life. We should avoid getting overstressed to the point of causing harm to ourselves or others. And you know what I'm talking about. You know how we treat our kids and family when we are overstressed. We are very different from that kind of loving person we could be when we are in a good mood. Besides, we should avoid getting old prematurely. Not only because stress diminishes blood flow and causes our skin to shrink faster. I'm not talking only about that. I'm talking about our inner organs. They get old too. So let's avoid getting old prematurely. Let's avoid destroying valuable, effective relationships. You know how it is. In the middle of a struggle, in the middle of a fight, we can say goodbye to a very valuable relationship. Let's avoid that. And of course, let's avoid getting emotionally or physically sick. Well, it takes more than money to have a good quality of life. We have to think physical. That means our bodies. We have to think about our health, our sense of well-being. We should think about mental and emotional, our mood, our enthusiasm. How is your enthusiasm? How is your joy of life? The joy of living, in French, joie de vivre. How are you from that point of view? How is family and relationships? I'm talking about with significant other, with children, with our siblings, with our parents. How is our social support? Regarding friends, groups, institutions. Financially speaking, how is that availability to fulfill our material needs? And this is another good one. How is our hope? How good we see our future? That's something to take in consideration. Yes, there are new realities for people in this world. For immigrants, there are additional problems. On top of that, we do not leave our problems at home. You know how it is. Your daughter is sick. You go to the office or the factory. You're always thinking about her. So it's just, something like funny. You should leave your problems at home. There is not such thing. On the other side, we do not leave work-related stress at the office when we go home. Many times we bring work home. And not only work, we bring stress, bad temper, tension, and we are aggressive with our loved ones just because things didn't go nice at the office. Therefore, home sometimes becomes a living hell. On top of that, we work endless hours to pay our bills. Many people work 2 shifts and some more. That's unbelievable. And then we forget that family is paramount. There is another thing here. Our children, when left home alone, are educated by a TV set, not by you, not by me. No wonder they become so difficult to deal with. We gotta do something about it, and we're going to do it. In the same way we can negotiate our debt, we can negotiate with our family. But then we have to deliver. I mean, if we told our kids, that we are going to play football with them tonight. We got to do something about it. We have to stand up and walk to the park. If we negotiate, we have to commit to our negotiation. And our families are going to be more understanding. When we ask for some time, we will have some time, probably giving 15 minutes to each one of your kids every day. 3, that's 45 minutes. That leaves extra and ample time for laundry, for taking a look at your TV show, or you name it. Let us reduce aggressiveness with some anger management. I'm going to tell you this. Please, when you are angry, do not swallow it. Please tell your family or loved ones that you have to be alone for a few minutes and you are going to manage your anger. Go to your room. Put 2 or 3 pillows on the floor. Kneel down and with your mouth open and fists clenched. That's in order to avoid breaking a tooth or a finger. And with your fist, again, tightly clenched, start beating the pillows. Put your soul into it. Do it for no more than 1 or 2 minutes. If you feel the need to scream, do it. But put a pillow against your mouth to muffle the noise. Then go and take a warm shower. Do this a couple times a week and watch the results. Done properly, you will start getting a sense of peace and patience. Believe me. Just go ahead and do it. If you are a believer, as I said before, go frequently to your church, mosque, or synagogue. Do some activities together with your family, like cooking, making a scrapbook. Find out what would be good to do together, and just do it. Now, open up. Talk. Do not swallow your anger or your loneliness. Having excessive stress does not mean you are weak. Men, oh boy. Men, we don't think it's manly to go out and confess that we are stressed out. We rather talk about baseball, about football, or something else. We would never look for a therapist. Women, instead, you ladies know how to deal with this. There are even some studies from the United Kingdom that show that women, after divorce, they miss less work than we men do. Under the stress of a divorce, men get weak, get sick. We never recognize what we're going through. Women, you ladies, you work, you cry, you talk to your friend, you do whatever it takes and you get going. You're different from us. So, hey men, you out there, having excessive stress does not mean you and I are weak. It is something we all have to deal with on a daily basis, and it is manageable. One thing is, this is our own responsibility to do something about. Alright? Because there is this trend to blame someone else. My wife makes me stressed out. My kids stress me out. My boss stressed me out. Let's stop putting the blame out there. Taking charge of our own stress is an act of love with ourselves and with our loved ones. Okay, let us learn to see life not with our physical eyes that see only hard evidence, not only through our bad experiences and fears, rather with the eyes of our soul. Let me give you an example. There is this happy couple making plans for a new home. They visit an empty lot of land and they like it, and they start walking around, playing make-believe, even deciding where the furniture is going to be. An external observer might think they are crazy. He or she is watching the scene with his or her physical eyes. The couple is using the soul's eyes. Let's take a look at life with amazement. Let's start again to have good expectations. Let's start to see life with never-ending hope. Okay, This chart shows what I would call emotional tone. It represents different moods or states of mind. We all experience them at any given time in our lives. Let's take a look at the right side, here down, apathy. That's a bad one. When we are there, that means that we don't care about anything. It's much better to be depressed than being apathetic. All right? Then we see sadness. Probably a feeling of emptiness. Then we find peace. And after peace and going up, we might find ourselves happy. Or maybe experiencing some euphoria. Sometimes for a few seconds, some ecstasy. And I'm just talking extreme happiness. Now let's go to the left side of this chart. There is the realm of anger and frustration and fear. Dr. Helen Schucman once said that there are only two powerful emotions in this life. One is love. The opposite is not hatred, it's fear. Everything that comes from fear is about the same. If we are aggressive, we are being fearful. If we are frustrated, we are experiencing some kind of fear. If we are angry, we have some fear. If we are jealous, we are in fear. Now let's move to the other realm. Peace and going up is the realm of love. Love brings about trust, hope, optimism, tenderness, patience, and everything you might think. Now, when we see the realm of love and optimism and hope and trust, these areas are characterized by different segregation of humors in our bodies. That means that neurotransmitters, those chemicals that are produced by our nervous systems, are different when we are on this side, in the side of love, than those when we are on the side of fear. If we stay on the side of fear, those messengers, if I may call them so, can make you sick. And this is very important to consider. We might have heard of people who have had a heart attack during the finals, watching a soccer or basketball game. Some had it because their team lost the championship. That's out of frustration. Some others because their team won. They were so happy and euphoric that their heart didn't hold up to the challenge. It seems like the ideal state of mind is around the peace and the happy side. Look at this. I'd love to share with you a study that was made by Ohio University under the coordination of Dr. Janice Kickel-Glaser in 1998. A group of university students volunteered to take a biopsy test. Small pieces of tissue were taken from their mouth. This happened during vacation time. Doctors followed up the healing process using hydrogen peroxide. That's the normal oxygenated water. Foam is produced in open wounds. They also took pictures of the injuries. A few months later, during exams, new biopsies were taken again on the other side of the mouth of each student. Pictures were taken and tests with peroxide were done as before. The results. During university exams, the healing process took up to 40% more time than during vacation time. Something as transient as midterm exams create a level of stress significant enough to slow down the healing process in wounds. Stress affects our bodies in many forms. Can you imagine what stress can do to you if not managed properly? Now, enter HEG, hemoencephalography. This is a new discipline in the science that studies voluntary control of blood circulation in different areas of the brain. This research and development was directed by Dr. Herschel Tumim, and he used to treat attention deficit disorders, autism, schizophrenia, and depression. I myself, Louis Gaviria, had the beautiful chance to study directly under Dr. Herschel Tumim back in 1987 up to 1990, if I may recall. A beautiful experience, by the way. Okay. This is a special image taken from the brain of someone who has had severe depression for a number of years. Let's see that these blue areas here and here, probably here and here, those blue spots show that there is just low blood flow. It doesn't mean that, the tissue is not dead. It is just very low in blood flow. Now, let's take a look at the same brain 27 sessions later. That's about 27 weeks later. This was after learning to focus the attention in good, happy thoughts. That's when the brain shows improvement in circulation. Can you believe it? Can you believe that this can happen? Let's take a look at the back side. Let's go back. This is before. This is after. Just notice the difference. Before, after. Before, after. The nice thing here is the person who underwent this treatment had been under, heavy medication for a number of years. Medication wasn't changed. The only thing that changed was that this person learned how to change the flow of thought into a positive thought stream. Even if this lady, it was a lady, wasn't feeling like thinking good things, she was told she should imagine good things, good outcomes. She would get healthy again. She would feel happy again. And for a number of minutes, probably 3 or 4 minutes, several times a day, she was asked to go and perform that kind of exercise. Focus her mind on the good side of things. And see what happened? Circulation improved all over. We still see some dark areas, but as opposed to the last image, just compare. All right? That's heavy. I mean, we're talking big things here. Now, let's go to the next slide here. The green line, let's take a look at it. The green line shows how during happy, focused thinking, the blood flow in the brain, in the frontal lobe, the part that is just behind your forehead, is increased, improving the functions of the brain. Here, normal thinking. Here, happy thinking starts. See the difference? This is powerful. By the way, for those of you interested in knowing what was used in here for this particular purpose, a Biocom 2010 was used, provided by the Biocom Research Institute in Los Angeles, California. Now let's take a look at the next slide. Again, here we have the same situation with a different patient. Normal thinking, happy thinking. Believe it or not, this person decided to pray. It seems like it created some happy thinking. And now see the difference. It's beautiful. So normal thinking, you have like a basal, like a normal kind of blood flow. And once you start thinking happy, everything changes. Everything changes. So this is not more like think and smile, you're going to have a better life, think positive, things are going to change because of magic. It doesn't happen like that. This is just hard science. That's the way it works, and that's the way it should be. All right? The truth is, people can change the quality of their lives and even improve their health if they take charge of changing the flow of their thoughts. What are your thoughts right now? Let's think nice, positive, happy thoughts. Well, it all leads to we should leave behind the past. Take only the good things we have learned. Close the door behind us and focus on the present and try to make plans with positive expectations. Let us stay on the present time. Let's try it here and now, over and over. Let's look into the future, but with good expectations. Making like a program, doing something, setting goals, but let's stay in the present with a happy mind. Well, we need to understand that life gives us many chances. That's good. We should accept that we can change for the good. We probably should commit to feeding ourselves and our families properly with good food, good thoughts, and good words. Let's exercise, even a little. Let's hydrate our bodies better. Let's put our attention in the here and now. Let's forgive and carry on. Let's look for and create opportunities for peace. And let's create a healthy balance in our lives. Well, here are some tips. Remember this. No situation or person is worth your getting a stroke or a heart attack over. Let me say that again. No situation or person is worth your getting a stroke or a heart attack over. Let's try to always arrive 10 minutes early. I have to travel international very often. They suggest that I be at the airport 3 hours in advance. Let me tell you what. I am at the airport at least 3.5 hours. And when you go there, you'll understand why. And please do not overload your day. Do not make a lot of changes in your life in a short period of time. Let's learn how to say no every once in a while. Let's prioritize our commitments when necessary. Let's take some free time for ourselves and our loved ones. And, of course, let's watch the way we are thinking, here and now. Okay, we all have a mission in life. What would that mission be for each one of us? I don't know what is yours. I'm probably starting to grasp a little bit on what my mission is. But all I know is life starts today if we want it to. Let's set a goal for physical betterment. Let's think at least I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to eat healthier. Let's set a goal for personal growth. I'm going to gain control of my finances. Let's set a goal for family and loving relationships. I'm going to be more affectionate and more patient. Let's set a goal for helping to make the world a better place. I'm going to become more aware and involved. Let us set a goal for personal inner peace. I'm going to let go of the past and forgive where needed. Let's think about this. Now let's think about awareness. All of us are in the business of transforming lives, for the good or the bad. Our children, family, friends, the rest of the world. Let us help to promote health, emotional wellness, and the development of social conscience for those in need and for the environment. Let's do this to build a better world for all of us. Whatever we do to help someone in need gives us back much more than we give in return. Yes, we can change lives, including our own. Well, we believe that we teach better what we need to learn. Please go and share this presentation in your own words. Send your friends to our website to watch it and use it. We invite you today to look at all this with happiness and hope and start making small changes. Let's drink more water. Let's exercise a little. Let's start fostering happy thoughts. Let's learn how to meditate, how to relax, how to pray, and even better, practice all of them. Let's dream again, my friends. Let's talk to a friend. And let's remember that inner peace is most important. Stick to the here and now. All right? Well, this is Luis Gaviria, and on behalf of the U.S. Department of Education, the Bilingual Parent Outreach Program, Miami-Dade Public Schools District, our officials, the principals of our schools, and of course our teachers, please receive our best regards with the awareness and hope that we can make this a better world. Thank you very much. Disclaimer. All this information is presented for educational purposes only. It is based on scientific studies or traditional usage. Consult a healthcare professional before using supplements or making any changes in prescribed medications or making major changes in your lifestyle. We strongly recommend that you consult with a qualified healthcare professional or medical professional before starting any diet, exercise, or supplementation program, before taking any medication, or if you have or suspect you might have a health problem. Neither Luis Gaviria nor Miami-Dade County Public Schools are to be held liable for conditions that may arise for making such changes. The information presented here and or in other accompanying materials are not to be taken as medical advice. Miami-Dade County Public Schools, Division of Bilingual Education and World Languages, Bilingual Parent Outreach Program. For additional information, please call this telephone number 305-995-1920. That is 305-995-1920.